Welcome back everyone. We are now in Queen's Accommodation. We're here in Elm's BT1, which is one of the 3 accommodation locations in Queen's. There's Elm's BT1 and Elm's BT2, which are in the city centre, and we have Elm's BT9 village, which is on the Malone Road, and it's a dedicated student village just outside the city. Here today we're going to be talking to some students and some staff about what it's like to experience living in Queen's Accommodation. And the first student we're going to speak to is Rianne. Rianne, you are very welcome. You are a student who has lived in accommodation at Queen's. Can you tell us a wee bit about that experience?
Yeah, so I lived up in Elms Village, up in BT9, and there was about 3 of us in our flat, and yeah, we were all from different places, got to get to know people quite quickly. There's a lot going on, so you're kind of a bit nervous when you move into somewhere new, but everybody's in the same boat, so you make friends quite quick. And yeah, you get your parcels taken for you, which is always a plus, I've noticed. Now I've moved out, I'm sad about that.
I know everybody that moves into accommodation has someone at reception who will get their parcels for them, so it's like, it's the dream, isn't it? You said there a wee bit about how you settled in quite quickly. Were there things going on that helped you do that? Were there events or tours that happened that allowed you to settle in?
Yeah, so there's like a residential assistant, which kind of checks in on the different flats. And then there's like loads of different trips. So they do like shopping trips, there's trips to like Glasgow, IKEA, loads of different things. There's like movie nights, just loads of different events going on alongside obviously all like the freshers and different events going on with that as well.
Great. And what was your actual room like? Was it spacious? Were you able to like do it up so that it was homely?
Yeah, so I think that's kind of the fun part of like moving away, is being able to do it up yourself. So I kind of put up like quite girly like bunting, fairy lights, like made all like use of the storage. But yeah, like you can make your own, which is nice, but everything that you need is pretty much there. It's just making it like more homely.
Yeah, it's good to make that home away from home.
Yeah.
Rianne, thank you very much. The next student we're going to speak to is Isabel. Just while Isabel's coming in, just to let you guys know, we are in Queen's Accommodation right now, and there are staff getting ready for students arriving, so there might be a wee bit of background noise, but we'll be able to hear what you're saying. Isabel, how are you? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Can you tell me a wee bit about your experience now? I know you didn't actually live in Queen's Accommodation, but you were able to visit friends and experience what each of the 3 accommodation blocks were like.
Yeah, so unfortunately I didn't stay here, but like I would definitely...
I like the way you said unfortunately. You would have wanted to stay here if you could.
Yeah, no, I was getting the train up and down from where I live every day. But like even for example, I had a friend staying here in BT1, and one day I missed my train home, and it was raining and it was stormy outside, and I rang her and she told me to come right over, and I went to her flat here, and it was just lovely. Like it's very cozy, homely, like the reception room in each of the flat, like the little kitchen area, it's just, it feels like home. So yeah, it was fab.
Brilliant. Obviously there's 3 different accommodation blocks. There's 2 in the city centre and 1 just outside the city. In terms of people wanting to go from their accommodation into campus, does it take long to walk from here into campus, or is it kind of short?
Like the location for all of the different accommodations, they're all very central. Like Belfast isn't massive, like the city anyway, so it's all within walking distance, and there's so much public transport like buses that can get you where you want to go very, very quickly.
Brilliant. Isabel, thank you very much. The next person we're going to speak to is Stephen Montgomery, and he is a residential life assistant here at Queen's. Stephen, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us.
No problem.
I know it's probably a very busy time for you because you're getting ready for students arriving. But talk to me about what it actually is that you guys do as a residential life coordinator.
Residential life coordinators and residential life is about creating an experience of living in Queen's, and especially living with us and enjoying yourself whilst you're here. covering all those little things that might come up that maybe you've never have happened to you before. I like to say we sit in that place between being on your own and, oh God, I'm on my own. You know, and that's where we kind of live. So it's when we plan events and we run trips and we have all the fun times where it's about getting you to get to know the people around you. And maybe if you come up against something you don't know how to deal with, you've got a friendly ear, and that's what we are. We're that person you pick up the phone to, person you send an email to, person you meet in our coffee bar, who tells you how to deal with stuff that's going on around you. But then we have our whole other side where when things get harder, we're also there as well. So sometimes people are struggling, sometimes they're struggling with their academics, they need advice. We're here for that as well. We kind of cover everything, so we are about life. That's what we.
Brilliant. That's really encouraging for people to hear, because it can be a bit difficult to transition from moving out of home into uni, and it's nice having a friendly face like yourself. Is it just you, or is there a team of you guys helping, or who's that made up of?
Thank goodness there's a team of us. It's not just me. So in total, we have a manager at our top, Cecilia, who is our residential life events support manager, who's brilliant. And then you've got 3 other residential life coordinators who are divvied up between each building. So you've got 2 up in BT9, 1 in BT2, and I'm here based in BT1 right now. And then you have 24 residential assistants, and they're a peer support team. And what makes them brilliant is they're students, they're studying, they've gone through everything you're going through.
They've done it before.
They've done it before, and that's exactly what they're there to do, to talk to you about their experiences and give you their advice. Sometimes it's easier to talk to someone you see as your peer than maybe go to a member of staff. And that's what they're there for, that opportunity to have a person who is on your wavelength.
In terms of the facilities, so there are the 3 blocks, but would each of them be really similar? So each of the 3 accommodations be similar, or is there slight differences? And what's actually included? You know, if I'm coming to live in Queen's Accommodation, what do I get for that?
You get peace of mind, I would say, to start with. You get everything is built in, so obviously it's covering all your bills. It's allowing you to not have to pay any of the little extras. So you've got your internet, you've got, you know, your water, your heat, and everything's going to be on all the time, and you're going to have access to that. But you get extras. You get access to the gym. So if you're in BT1, BT2, you've got the BT1 gym that's right here, right
there, yeah.
Right there. And it's a great facility, and you can use that. But you also get membership to the PEC and the Queen's Sport. So you can go up and use the facilities up PEC, which is like a really unbelievable facility. Then you've got the fact that you have a 24-hour support team. So we have our security team who are up here, who are here to help with anything going on. They're on site all day and all night, so if there's any issues, you've got some there. You've got a maintenance team who will come and fix stuff for you whenever it breaks.
My light bulb goes out in the middle of the night, I'm trying to study, they're here to help you?
Well, they won't. They'll definitely, maintenance guys might not turn up to change your light bulb, but they definitely do a burst pipe.
Okay, yeah.
Which doesn't really happen, but it's all that emergency stuff is all covered, and it's all enfolded into what you're paying, which is amazing. And then you've got, we like to say our bit is a big deal because we have all these trips and events that we run. So we ran nearly 350 events last year between our sites, and all of those are all built in to your pay.
And can you give just a couple of examples?
So in-house events, we did stuff like Chinese New Year, movie nights, Elm's Got Talent. We run a talent show every year, which has big prizes involved. And then we actually do trips away. So Game of Thrones tours, going up the Giant's Causeway, going to the Guinness factory in Dublin, going shopping in Dublin if you just need your Christmas shopping done. And it just keeps going. We're constantly adding new stuff. So, and if you want to do something, that's our big thing. Send us a message. We are happy to try anything you want to do.
It sounds really good fun, to be honest.
Yeah, it's good crack sometimes. I get to go on some of these trips sometimes, which makes my life a bit more fun.
Stephen, if you could go back, if you were in the situation like some of our viewers will be, where they're applying to university for the first time, they're thinking about coming to Queen's Accommodation, where would you want to live and why? Which of the 3 accommodation blocks?
I would say I was very keen on rugby and sport and stuff, so BT1 would be my first grab, just because it's got the gym right on your doorstep. I love BT9's got that real high energy because it's got so many more people. The village is kind of like, it's a bit more like, yeah, everybody's there. There's nearly 2,000 people up there. And then BT2's more chill. So it depends on your vibe, but all of them have their own, all of them have everything the same. So free coffee bars, all that stuff still going on. So you can do everything and you can visit each other as well.
Stephen, so helpful. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
The next person we're going to introduce here is Michael Holland. He is a fitness instructor here at the gym, but he also works across other locations in Queens. Michael, you're very welcome.
Ray, how you doing?
Good to have you here. Michael, can you just tell us a wee bit about what your role is here in BT1 and across the rest of the campus?
Here in BT1, myself and another member of staff, Johnny, we take care of the gym. We run classes, we give programming, we just help out with any type of needs that the students have. We try and make it a bit fun as well. We try and do a few just fun in-house games and stuff when we're doing warm-ups and stuff, just to get people involved and just try and get them come down, use the facilities. They are some of the best facilities you get in Belfast and probably the UK. It is a fantastic gym down here. We really love it.
Yeah, no, it is great. The facilities are great. But I suppose for some students, they might never have done sport. They look at you, you're big. I probably need a few training sessions to get like that. But if somebody was coming in for the first time and they've never done sport, they've never done physical activity, is there a place for them that they can get involved?
Absolutely. That's the key to, especially here at BT1. We want people who have never been in the gym before. It's really good to just even for mental well-being, physical well-being, but you need no experience. We're here to help, and we're really just aching to get people to come in and use the facilities. It's such a good facility. We're really enthusiastic about it, just to get people in and just to express themselves in sport or in movement at some stage of the day is such a vital thing for everybody, so that's what we're trying to do.
And that's really important, and like you say, the gym is here in BT1. There's a facility on the Malone Road, which is the PEC, the Physical Education Centre, and the facilities there are amazing. But if you wanted to do more team sports, so things like rugby, hockey, GAA, rowing, are there facilities for that as well?
There's facilities for almost every sport that you could imagine. There are clubs and teams and societies, mainly based at PEC, but also up in Malone, where again we have state-of-the-art facilities. There's clubs and teams for absolutely every sport that you want to do, from fencing to archery to rugby, Gaelic football, hurling, everything. If you name it, they have it. Amazing. Even aqua club, we've got a diving club. You can find it there at Queen's.
That's so good, and I suppose what's really helpful as well is having a friendly face like yourself to welcome you into that and get you involved. Michael, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you've got like a PT session or something going on here, so thanks for joining us. The next person we're going to be joined with is Alice Devlin. She works in the Students' Union, and she has a large role within all the clubs and societies within the union. Alice, do you want to kind of introduce yourself, what your role involves, first of all, and then we'll talk a wee bit about the clubs and societies.
Yeah, sure. So I'm based in the Students' Union, and it's really my job to lend a helping hand to all of our fantastic clubs and societies. So we actually have about 220, so my days are always different. There's never a dull day in the Students' Union. So basically I'm here just to help our students follow their ambitions, see what they can achieve as part of a club or society, and generally just get involved.
Brilliant. If I consider myself a bit of a jock, Alice, if I wanted to come to Queen's and what sort of club could I get involved with?
Yeah, I mean, along with our colleagues in Queen's Sport, we really work to support a huge range of different sporting clubs. So whether it's something like hockey or netball that you want to keep on from school, there's a place for you here. If you want to be more adventurous and try caving, scuba diving, underwater hockey, maybe activities you've never even heard of before, across the 55 clubs, there's such a range. You'll find something you'll enjoy, and at the level that you're capable of as well.
So those all sound very active. If I maybe wanted to join a club or society that was a bit less active, are there clubs like that I could get involved in?
Yeah, definitely. That would be my personal preference too. I would maybe steer clear of the sporting element. We really have different activities, different things to get involved with, depending on whether you want to be a volunteer, you want to work on your employability and skills, you want to get to know people on your course and develop a kind of complement to your academic studies. There is something out there for everybody. Sometimes that catches me out. So I would say if you've looked at our list and you can't find your hobby or your passion, just come and talk to the Students' Union and we can help to set up a new club or society that will accommodate that.
And is support given around that? If you did want to start your own club or society, you guys can support with that?
Yeah, definitely. So I would play a big role there along with our team in the Students' Union. But we also provide the likes of funding within the university. We help people to identify funding outside the university too. So I would say to anyone who's keen, just drop us a line, get involved. There's loads of potential and loads of support there for whatever it is you want to look into doing.
That's brilliant. Alice, last question. If you sort of did take part in a club or society, apart from having fun and doing something you enjoy, are there any wider advantages to that? You know, what's the advantages of being part of a club or society?
Definitely. First and foremost, it's meeting new people and making friends. What I would say to anybody coming to Queen's, you know, maybe it's your first time moving to Belfast, your first time moving away from home. The quickest and easiest way to meet new friends is to get involved in a club or society. Everybody's in the same boat. A lot of people maybe won't know people here, and that's really the main function that they serve. On top of making friends and getting to know people, there's huge potential there to develop as a person, to develop your skills, to fill up that CV for when you come to graduate, through event management, budget management, networking. There really is just a huge platform there to develop yourself alongside making friends and settling in.
It sounds like a win-win-win situation. Alice, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be joined now by Rebecca, who is another student. Rebecca had the opportunity to join some clubs and societies, and she also worked with Alice through the Students' Union to do some work with Student Council. Isn't that right, Rebecca? Can you tell us a wee bit about that?
Yeah, so I got involved in Student Council last year. So Student Council is a membership made up of students that have put themselves forward and then have been voted for amongst the student population to represent students. So we then can raise any issues we want and get it voted for, and we discuss all the issues, and then we can lobby our student officers to appeal to the university to make the changes we want happen.
So it really is, the Students' Union really is led by the students. They're leading the clubs and societies, they're leading the council, and it's changing the university to what you guys want, which is, it's really a positive thing.
And make sure that student voice is heard in every situation across all parts of the university.
Definitely. Rebecca, if anyone was thinking of coming to Queen's, we spoke all day about, you know, the campus and why you should choose Queen's. What would be your one bit of advice to somebody who's thinking about coming to Queen's?
Get involved. Get involved. There's so many opportunities. Like, I've gone to China, I've got scholarships, I've done leadership courses, I've put myself out there to be part of council, I've put myself out there to be a course rep, to represent my course's views. If you want to, don't say no.
And you'll end up telling everybody about it on an interview someday. Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to bring in Isabel. Isabel, we met earlier. She is a student from just outside Dublin. And you have a really prominent role in one of our clubs and societies, Isabel, don't you? Do you want to just tell us a wee bit about that?
Yeah, so probably the best thing from my student experience so far has been joining Queen's University Players. So it's the drama society here, and I'm now on the committee for that. So basically we put on 12 plays a year, as well as having loads of really great social events to get involved in, and it's just brilliant. The amount of friends I've made through it, and I've learned so much as well.
It sounds really interesting putting on all those plays. Is there, you know, a facility that you do those in within Queen's, or do you go to other parts of the country to do those performances? Where do they actually happen?
Yeah, so we have the Brian Friel Theatre, which is in Queen's Film Theatre. So it's a really, really nice theatre. It's a lovely space to work with. We also have different spaces within the Queen's Film Theatre that we put on shows, depending on what like the play needs from the venue. And we've also looked at doing things further afield in different venues as well. Once a year we go to the ISTA festival, which is like a competition with different universities, and we put on 3 of our best plays from that year there, and we compete. But yeah, there's so many different roles you can get involved in. So if you want to act, if you want to direct, if you want to write a play, then we have our lighting, our sound, our stage managers. There's something for everyone, whether you want to be on stage or not.
Yeah, no, and I think that's really important as well, because people, in whatever club or society they're involved in, they may not want to be a front runner within that club or society, but they can get involved somehow within it. So that's really, really important. Yeah. Last question for you, Isabel. Same as Rebecca, one wee bit of advice you would give people if they're sitting there watching this thinking, this all sounds great, should I apply to Queen's? What would be your advice to them?
I would say absolutely do. It's made me so happy. I have absolutely no regrets. There's just a feeling of, I don't know, magic or something here. Yeah, it's really brilliant. So I would say just go for it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Isabel. The last person we're going to speak to now is Rianne from the Valleys. We met Rianne earlier. Rianne, you spoke to us earlier about how you lived in Queen's Accommodation, and we spoke to Michael about the facilities at the PEC. You are a gym goer and you would use the facilities quite often. Do you want to chat to us a wee bit about those?
Yeah, so I use the gym about 3-4 times a week. So they've got a range of classes, so anything from like spin to yoga to weight training. And yeah, it's such a good facility, like it's massive. It's open from early in the morning till late at night, so you can pretty much go any time. As being a student, you're pretty flexible, so it's quite nice that you can sneak in and miss the peak times.
I know, and that's important too. You get a bit of time to actually do the work because, as Michael spoke about, it has a real benefit for your physical and mental well-being. Final thing, Rianne, similar to the other students, bit of advice for students who are thinking about coming to Queen's. What would you say? As somebody who's come over from Wales, what's your last bit of advice?
I would say just go for it. Come over and visit beforehand if you can, and just enjoy like experiencing the city, the campus, student life. Like there's so much going on and to get involved in. Belfast is a really like upcoming city. There's just so much to get involved in, so just go for it, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Rianne. Thank you everybody for joining us across our 3 interviews today. If you have any questions about anything we've spoken about, you can click on the conversation hub within the website and there will be someone there who will be able to answer your questions. We hope you've enjoyed our interviews. There's more content that you can get involved with and you just need to search for that on the website. And we really hope you enjoy the rest of your virtual open day here at Queen's University. Thank you.